Good day, I'm Theodore Henry, and this is your JIS News for Thursday, March 28, 2024. Government is putting together a working group to quickly review Jamaica's additional stamp duty regime for imported raw foods and other goods. Minister of Finance and the Public Service Dr. Nigel Clarke made the announcement as he closed the budget debate in Parliament Tuesday. The working group will be comprised of the Ministries of Agriculture, Industry and Finance, inclusive of the Jamaica Customs Agency. Each of the parties are to engage stakeholders in their respective sectors. Minister Clarke explains that while the process can be long and costly, there is room to negotiate Jamaica's maximum inbound duty rates under its WTO agreements, and that is to be the focus of the working group.
The government has the option of additional stamp duties and other duties because we are not at the maximum level for all of the products. And the government of Jamaica is committed to quickly reviewing the additional stamp duty regime, including for raw foods, with a view of making the necessary adjustments in consultation with stakeholders.
The minister's announcement comes in the wake of questions relating to the recently announced decision to remove GCT on imported raw foods and potential implications for local production. He explains that the measure is necessary as the current imposition of GCT on foreign-produced raw foods only violates binding trade agreements to which Jamaica is a party. Most notably, the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade, GATT, which was replaced by the World Trade Organization, WTO, in 1995, and of which Jamaica is a member.
Article 3 of the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade addresses national treatment of internal taxation regulation. It is very clear that the agreement, which is binding on Jamaica, forbids the application of GCT on foreign-produced goods in a specific category while not also applying GCT to locally produced goods in the same category.
The finance minister reveals that the breach was most recently brought to the government's attention during a visit to Jamaica in November 2023 by representatives of the WTO who were conducting a customary scheduled review of our trade regime.
And there are only two options to address this breach. Either we apply GCT to locally produced raw foods or we remove it from imported raw foods. And we chose the more palatable option at this time of removing GCT from raw food.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness says groundwork for Phase 1 of the rollout of cards under the National Identification System, NIDS, is well advanced. Regulations for the National Identification and Registration Act, NIRA, are to be taken to Parliament for consideration in April. A NIRA board was also appointed earlier this month to oversee the operations of NIDS. In addition, the procurement process has been completed for renovation of 8 of the targeted 23 post offices, paving the way for work to begin shortly. These are in Montego Bay, Black River, Maypen, Santa Cruz, Falmouth, St. Anne's Bay, Ocho Rios, and Mandeville, and will be used as enrollment sites.
Renovated post offices will double as digital service points, which will become dedicated areas for people to receive help and to have access to digital services free of charge.
The toll-free period for use of the Maypen to Williamsfield leg of the Southern Coastal Highway Improvement Project, SHIP, is being extended to July 1, 2024. The extension is being granted to facilitate the conclusion of negotiations with Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited, which operates the East-West Highway from Cape Manus to Maypen under a concession agreement. Trans-Jamaican Highway Limited has a right of first refusal to operate the new highway.
The Trans-Jamaica Highway has exercised their right under the concession agreement by making an offer to the government of Jamaica. This offer is being evaluated by independent financial advisors and negotiations are ongoing.
In the meantime, the Prime Minister affirms that the government intends to move further westward from Williamsfield in Manchester to Hodges in St. Elizabeth. This extension will include a northern Mandeville bypass, a Spurtree bypass, a Southfield bypass, and a Black River bypass.
Value engineering exercises have been performed to reduce the project cost and at the same time increase its functionality. Madam Speaker, The residents of South St. Elizabeth will be part of the stakeholder consultation process to ensure their input is obtained and incorporated from the design stage to project delivery.
An additional $1 billion is to be dedicated to rural water systems for the upcoming 2024-2025 financial year. Prime Minister Andrew Holness says this significant investment is intended to meet the water needs of communities in rural Jamaica, many of which are not customers of the National Water Commission.
I know, Madam Speaker, that they have several projects on the books, but not funded. So they have developed projects, but because it's not financed, they have put it in file 13. What we're going to say to rural water now is bring out those projects. We have $1 billion which we're going to reserve under capital. Get those projects in and let's get water to the people.
The sum is in addition to the $409 million being invested by Rural Water in several projects for the new financial year. The proposed projects spread across communities in St. Catherine, St. James, St. Anne, Clarendon, St. Mary, Hanover, Portland, and Trelawney. And finally, teachers and students at the Marymount High School can expect a completed 20,000-gallon rainwater harvesting system come this May. Minister with responsibility for water, Matthew Samuda, gave the update during a recent World Water Day event. He outlined why rainwater harvesting was among the government's policy plans for getting the commodity to residents.
Because the elements that come together to make sure you have water in your pipes are not as simple as it is, as people contemplate. Persons assume rainfall, I must turn on my pipe and get water. There are several other steps that have to take place. There is, however, significant benefit to harnessing our rainfall and ensuring that we store rainfall. Certainly not in every area, because some places the runoff is important for the recharge of our aquifers.
And that's it for JIS News Today. I'm Theodore Henry. Thanks for watching.